A Mafia boss's son suffered in silence. What the new maid discovered hidden in his hair would expose a monster living under the same roof. In a world of power and secrets, one woman's courage would either save a broken child or destroy them all. The truth always leaves scars, but some scars run deeper than others. If you're new here, subscribe and comment your location. Now let's begin. Mila's first day at the Valerio mansion started with a near-death experience. Not the kind involving bullets or knives, though those were probably lying around somewhere. No, this involved a marble floor, freshly waxed by someone who clearly wanted her dead, and a laundry basket she absolutely should not have been carrying while wearing smooth-soled shoes. Her feet went out from under her at the top of the grand staircase. The basket went flying. 30 pairs of expensive Italian sheets sailed through the air like very bougie ghosts. "Oh, you've got to be kidding me," she muttered, grabbing the banister with both hands. A man in a black suit appeared at the bottom of the stairs, completely unfazed by the linen explosion happening above him. He didn't even blink when a pillowcase landed on his shoulder. "You must be the new maid," he said flatly. "And you must be thrilled about it," Mila shot back, carefully making her way down. She started gathering sheets, refusing to be embarrassed. "Is the entire house a death trap or just the stairs?" "Just the stairs. The kitchen has different hazards." "Fantastic. I love surprises." The man's mouth twitched, almost a smile. "I'm Marco, head of security. Don Valerio wants to see you in his office." Mila's stomach dropped. First day. First hour, really. And already summoned to the boss's office like a kid going to the principal. The Valerio mansion wasn't just big, it was obscene. The kind of place that had a room just for storing wine, another room just for tasting it, and probably a third room for complaining about both. Everything was marble or mahogany or some other expensive M word. Marco led her through hallways lined with paintings that probably cost more than her entire life. She tried not to touch anything. The office doors were massive, dark wood carved with something that looked vaguely threatening. Marco knocked twice and opened them without waiting for an answer. Alessio Valerio sat behind a desk that could double as a landing strip. He was younger than she expected, maybe late 30s, with dark hair, darker eyes, and the kind of face that belonged on currency. Old currency, from countries that no longer existed because he probably destroyed them. He was on the phone speaking rapid Italian. He held up one finger telling her to wait. Mila waited, and looked around, and spotted the gun on his desk. Just sitting there next to a stapler like that was normal. When he finally hung up, those dark eyes fixed on her with uncomfortable intensity. "Miss Reyes, that's me. Please tell me I'm not fired for the sheet incident." His eyebrow went up. "The sheet incident. Top of the stairs, gravity 1. It was very dramatic. I heard the crash. I assumed Marco had finally snapped and thrown someone out a window." "The day's still young," Marco muttered from the doorway. Alessio almost smiled. "Almost. You're not fired. You're here about my son." And just like that, the temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. His whole face changed. The almost smile vanished. "Leo is 7 years old," Alessio continued, his voice careful. "He needs someone to attend to him specifically. His previous caretaker left rather suddenly." The way he said "left" made Mila think the woman probably ran screaming into the night. "The agency said you have experience with children." "I do. I worked with a family in Boston for 3 years. 2 kids, both under 10. "Why did you leave?" "They moved to Singapore. Didn't feel like following." Alessio studied her for a long moment. "Leo is difficult. Most 7-year-olds are. He doesn't speak much. He doesn't like to be touched. He has nightmares." Each word came out clipped, clinical. Like he was describing a problem with his car, not his child. "Okay," Mila said simply. Alessio blinked. "Okay?" "Yeah. Okay. Kids go through things. They cope differently. I'm not scared of a traumatized 7-year-old. Something flickered across his face. Surprise, maybe, or suspicion. "You'll start today. Marco will show you to Leo's room. Report any problems directly to me." "What kind of problems?" "Any kind." That seemed ominous, but Mila nodded. She turned to leave, then paused. "Question. Does everyone in this house carry a gun, or is that just executive level?" Marco coughed. It might have been a laugh. Alessio's expression didn't change. "Do you have a problem with guns, Miss Reyes?" "Nope. Just like to know what I'm working with. Back in Boston, the biggest weapon was a very aggressive cat named Mr. Whiskers." Different environment. This time, Alessio definitely almost smiled. "Welcome to the Valerio household." Leo's room was on the 3rd floor, down a hallway that felt too quiet, too isolated. Marco left her at the door with a nod and disappeared like smoke. Mila knocked softly. "Leo? My name is Mila. I'm going to be helping take care of you, okay?" No answer. She opened the door slowly. The room was huge, toys everywhere, untouched. A massive bed with superhero sheets, bookshelves stuffed with books that looked unread. And in the corner, curled up in a window seat, was the smallest 7-year-old she'd ever seen. Leo had dark curls like his father and enormous brown eyes that watched her like a trapped animal. He wore pajamas at 2 in the afternoon. His knees were pulled up to his chest. "Hey," Mila said softly. Staying by the door, "I'm Mila. I'm new here. Just started today, actually. Already almost died on your stairs, so that's fun." Leo didn't move, didn't blink. "I heard you like superheroes. I see Spider-Man on your bed. He's pretty cool. I always liked the Hulk myself. Something satisfying about just smashing things when you're angry, you know?" Still nothing. Mila walked in slowly, giving him space. She sat down on the floor, a good 10 feet away from him. "So here's the thing. I'm not great at this fancy house stuff. I already dropped sheets everywhere. Your dad probably thinks I'm insane, and I'm definitely going to get lost trying to find the kitchen. But I'm pretty good with kids, and I'm thinking maybe you and I could figure this out together." Leo's eyes tracked her movement, but he didn't speak. "I don't have to be here if you don't want me here," Mila continued. "But your dad asked me to check on you, so maybe we could just hang out for a bit. I could read you a book, or we could play a game, or I could just sit here quietly. Whatever you want." For the first time, Leo's expression shifted. Confusion, maybe. Like he wasn't used to being given choices. "How about this?" Mila said. "You think about it. I'm going to sit right here and look at this very interesting toy truck." She picked up a red fire engine from the floor. "Wow, this has actual working doors. That's fancy." She opened and closed the tiny doors, making quiet siren noises under her breath. 5 minutes passed, then 10. Finally, Leo uncurled slightly. "That's not how sirens sound." His voice was small, rough, like he didn't use it often. Mila looked up, fighting the urge to smile too big and scare him off. "No? How do they sound?" "Different. Higher. Can you show me?" Leo hesitated, then made a soft siren noise that was admittedly much better than hers. "Oh, you're right. That's way better. I've been doing it wrong my whole life." The tiniest hint of a smile touched Leo's face, for about half a second. They played with the fire truck for a while. Well, Mila played. Leo watched, but he moved closer, inch by inch until he was sitting just a few feet away. Progress. Over the next week, Mila learned 3 things about Leo. 1. He was smart. Scary smart. He'd taught himself to read before he turned 5. He did complex puzzles like they were boring. He asked questions about how things worked with the intensity of a tiny engineer. 2. He had nightmares every single night. She could hear him crying through the walls of her room next door, sometimes screaming. When she went to check on him, he'd be sitting up in bed, shaking, tears streaming down his face. He never let her touch him to comfort him. She'd just sit on the floor and talk until he calmed down. 3. Someone had hurt him. Badly. Recently. And he was absolutely terrified it would happen again. She didn't have proof yet, just instinct. The way he flinched when people moved too fast, the way he watched doorways like expecting monsters, the way he never, ever let anyone touch his head. That last part became impossible to ignore when she tried to brush his hair. It was day 8. Leo had finally started talking to her in full sentences. He'd even laughed once when she tripped over an ottoman and nearly face-planted into a bookshelf. His curls were getting wild. They needed attention. "Hey, buddy," Mila said that morning. "How about we deal with this hair situation?" Leo's entire body went rigid. "No, it's getting tangled. It'll hurt worse later if we don't—" "No!" He scrambled backward, panic flooding his face. Mila held up her hands. Okay, No hair brushing. Got it. But she saw the way his hand went to his head, protective, scared. That night, she went to Alessio's office without being summoned. Marco tried to stop her. He's in a meeting. I'll wait. It could be hours. I've got time. She sat in the hallway outside the office for 45 minutes. When the meeting ended and 3 intimidating men in expensive suits filed out, they all stared at her with confusion. She waved. Alessio appeared in the doorway. Miss Reyes. Is there a problem? Can I talk to you about Leo? His jaw tightened. Come in. She followed him inside. He closed the door and leaned against his desk, arms crossed, waiting. When's the last time someone brushed his hair? Mila asked bluntly. Alessio frowned. I don't know. The previous caretaker handled that. When did she leave? 3 weeks ago. So his hair hasn't been properly brushed in 3 weeks. I suppose not. He looked uncomfortable, defensive. He won't let me touch it. He panics when I try. Actually panics like I'm about to hurt him. Leo doesn't like being touched. I told you that. This is different. This is specific. He's fine if I touch his arm or his shoulder. But his head, he acts like I'm going to attack him. Alessio's expression darkened. What are you suggesting? I'm not suggesting anything. I'm telling you something's wrong. Has anyone checked his scalp? Looked for injuries? He would have said something. Would he? Mila challenged. Because from what I've seen, Leo doesn't say much of anything about what hurts him. He just deals with it alone. The silence that followed was sharp enough to cut. Alessio pushed off the desk. I'll handle it. Will you? Because I've been here over a week and I haven't seen you spend more than 5 minutes with him. It was a risk. A huge risk. You probably shouldn't tell a Mafia boss he's failing as a father, but Mila was angry. She'd spent 8 days watching a terrified kid try to be invisible in his own house. Alessio's eyes went cold. You overstep. Maybe. Or maybe everyone in this house is too scared of you to tell you the truth. And you're not scared. Of you. Please. Mila crossed her arms, matching his stance. I've dealt with tantrum-throwing toddlers. You don't intimidate me. Marco, still standing by the door, made a choking sound. Alessio stared at her. Really stared, like he was trying to figure out if she was brave or stupid. Tomorrow morning, he finally said. I'll check his hair myself. Good, because something's very wrong, and that kid deserves someone to actually figure out what. She left before he could respond. Her heart was hammering, her hands were shaking, but she'd said what needed to be said. The next morning, Alessio came to Leo's room right after breakfast. Leo's eyes went huge when his father walked in. Alessio almost never came to his room. The kid looked ready to bolt. Leo, Alessio said, his voice gentler than Mila had ever heard it. Miss Reyes tells me your hair needs attention. Leo shook his head frantically. I'm going to look at it. I promise I'll be gentle. No, please, I'm fine. Mila moved closer to Leo, sitting on the floor beside him. Hey, your dad just wants to help. I'll be right here the whole time, okay? Leo looked at her with desperate, terrified eyes. Alessio knelt down, moving slowly. Son, I need to check. Can you be brave for me? It took 5 minutes of coaxing. 5 minutes of Mila holding Leo's hand while he shook. 5 minutes of Alessio promising over and over that he wouldn't hurt him. Finally, Leo let his father touch his hair. Alessio's hands were surprisingly gentle as he ran his fingers through the dark curls. Carefully parting sections, checking the scalp underneath. He went very, very still. Mila saw his face change, saw the color drain, saw his jaw clench so hard she heard his teeth grind. Leo, Alessio said, his voice barely controlled. Who did this? Leo started crying, silent tears streaming down his face. Mila leaned forward. Leo, baby, what's wrong? Alessio moved his fingers, showing her bruises, dark circular bruises hidden under the thick curls. Not just 1 or 2. Multiple bruises in different stages of healing, purple, yellow, green. Someone had been grabbing this child by the head, hard, repeatedly. Mila felt sick. Alessio's hands were shaking now, actually shaking. Leo, look at me. Leo couldn't. He was sobbing, his whole body trembling. Who hurt you? Alessio's voice cracked on the last word. Leo just shook his head over and over. Mila pulled him close, and for once he let her. He buried his face in her shoulder and cried like his heart was breaking. Alessio stood abruptly and walked to the window. His back was rigid, his fists were clenched at his sides. When he spoke, his voice was deadly quiet. "Marco, get in here." Marco appeared instantly like he'd been waiting right outside. He took one look at Alessio's face and his own expression went hard. "Sir?" "Lock down the house. No one leaves. No one enters. Get Dante and Paolo. Search every room. Check security footage for the past month." "What are we looking for?" Alessio turned. His face was a mask of controlled rage. "Someone who's been abusing my son." Marco's eyes went wide, then cold. "Yes, sir." He was gone in seconds. Alessio looked at Mila, at Leo still crying in her arms. "Stay with him. Don't let anyone else in this room." "Where are you going?" "To find who did this." He paused at the door. "And Miss Reyes? Thank you for noticing, for caring enough to push." Then he was gone, and Mila was alone with a traumatized child and a growing sense of dread. She held Leo until he stopped crying, until his breathing evened out, until he finally pulled back and looked at her with red, swollen eyes. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "Baby, you have nothing to be sorry for." "I didn't want anyone to know." "Why not?" Leo's lip trembled. "Because she said if I told, she'd hurt me worse." Mila's blood ran cold. "She?" Leo nodded miserably. "Who is she, Leo?" But before he could answer, they heard shouting downstairs, loud, angry voices. Something crashed. Leo flinched and grabbed Mila's arm. "Don't let her hurt me again." "I won't, I promise." Mila stood, pulling Leo up with her. "Come on, we're going to lock this door." She engaged the lock just as footsteps pounded down the hallway. Someone tried the handle, rattled it hard. "Miss Reyes!" It was Marco's voice. "Open the door. Now." Mila hesitated. "Is it safe? We found her. Don Valerio wants Leo brought down." "No," Leo whimpered, clutching Mila tighter. "Please. Marco," Mila called through the door. "Leo's scared. Can Alessio come up here instead?" A pause, then Alessio's voice, tight with barely contained fury. "Open the door, Mila." She'd never heard him use her first name before. She unlocked it. Alessio came in alone. He looked at his son, and something in his expression broke, just for a second. Then the mask was back. "Leo, I need you to be very brave right now. Can you do that for me?" Leo nodded, still holding on to Mila. "I need you to tell me who hurt you. We found someone, but I need to be sure before I..." He stopped himself. "I need you to confirm it." "It was Miss Catherine," Leo said in the smallest voice imaginable. Mila's stomach dropped. Catherine was the head housekeeper. She'd been with the family for 12 years. She'd worked for Alessio's father before him. She was in her 50s, stern-faced, efficient. Mila had met her exactly twice and found her cold but professional. "She hated me," Leo continued, tears starting again. "She said I was weak, that I cried too much, that I was a disappointment. She said my mother left because I wasn't good enough." Alessio made a sound like he'd been punched. "When did this start?" Mila asked gently. "After Anna left, Miss Catherine said she had to take care of me now, but she didn't want to. She said I was too much trouble." "And the bruises on your head?" Leo touched his hair with a shaking hand. "When I cried at night, she'd come in. She'd grab my hair and shake me. She said if I didn't stop being a baby, she'd give me something to really cry about. Sometimes she'd hold my head underwater in the bath. Not long, just enough to scare me." Mila felt tears burning her eyes. Alessio looked like he was going to commit murder. Probably was. "She told me if I said anything, she'd tell Papa I was lying, that he'd send me away, that no one would believe me because she'd been with the family forever and I was just a stupid kid." "Leo," Alessio said hoarsely. "Come here." Leo hesitated, then slowly walked to his father. Alessio knelt down and very carefully, very gently, pulled his son into a hug. Leo stiffened at first, then collapsed into him, sobbing. "I'm sorry," Alessio said into Leo's hair. "I'm so sorry I didn't see. I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'm sorry I let this happen to you. Are you mad at me?" "What? No. God, no. Leo, none of this is your fault. None of it. Do you understand me?" Leo nodded against his father's chest. Alessio looked up at Mila. His eyes were wet. Take him to my room. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone but me. What are you going to do? What needs to be done? He said it so calmly, so matter-of-factly. Mila should have been horrified, should have argued, but looking at the bruises on Leo's head, at the terror in his eyes, at the way he still shook even in his father's arms, she couldn't find it in herself to care what happened to Catherine. "Come on, buddy," she said softly. "Let's go." Alessio's room was even bigger than Leo's. The bed could fit 6 people. There was a sitting area, a massive bathroom, a walk-in closet the size of Mila's first apartment. Leo had never been in here before. He looked around with wide eyes. "Papa never lets anyone in here," he whispered. "Well, you're special. You're allowed." She got him settled on the huge bed, turned on the TV to cartoons, and tried not to think about what was happening downstairs. 20 minutes later, a single gunshot echoed through the house. Leo jerked, eyes going huge. "What was that?" "Nothing, just the TV." Mila turned the volume up louder, even though they both knew it wasn't the TV. Leo crawled into her lap and buried his face in her shoulder. She held him and hummed and pretended her hands weren't shaking. It was 2 hours before Alessio came back. He looked tired. There was blood on his shirt cuff. He'd tried to wash it off, but Mila could still see the stain. Leo was asleep in her arms by then, exhausted from crying. Alessio stood in the doorway just looking at them. At his son, peaceful for the first time in weeks. At Mila, holding him like he was precious. "Is it done?" she asked quietly. "It's done. Catherine is gone. She won't hurt him again." "Did you—" "Don't ask questions you don't want answers to." "Fair enough." Alessio moved into the room and sat on the edge of the bed. He reached out and gently brushed Leo's hair back from his forehead. The boy didn't even stir. "He sleeps," Alessio said, sounding amazed. "He actually sleeps. He feels safe, finally. Because of you. Because his nightmare is over." "No. Because you noticed. Because you cared. Because you fought for him when I was too blind to see what was happening under my own roof." His voice went rough. "You're the only person in this entire house who looked at my son and saw him. Really saw him." Mila didn't know what to say to that. They sat in silence for a while. Leo slept on. The sun started setting outside the massive windows. "What happened to his mother?" Mila finally asked, "if you don't mind me asking." "She left when Leo was 3, decided being married to me was too dangerous, too complicated. She wanted a normal life. I didn't fight her. I thought maybe she was right, but she didn't take Leo. Said he'd be safer with me, with security, with resources." He laughed bitterly. "She was wrong. He wasn't safe, not even in his own home." "You didn't know. I should have. I'm his father. I should have seen the signs." Catherine was smart. She waited until she was alone with him. She threatened him. She manipulated him. "You're not psychic, Alessio. You can't know everything." He looked at her, really looked. "You called me Alessio. Is that okay?" "It's more than okay." His voice dropped lower. "Stay. I am staying. I'll stay with Leo as long as— No, I mean stay. Here, in this house. Not just as a maid, as Leo's full-time caretaker, his guardian when I can't be there. Name your price." Mila shifted carefully so she wouldn't wake Leo. "I don't need a price. I care about him." "I know. That's exactly why I'm asking." She studied his face, the exhaustion, the guilt, the desperate hope. "Okay, yes, I'll stay." Relief flooded his expression. "Thank you. But I have conditions." His eyebrow went up. "Conditions?" 1. You spend time with him. Real time, not 5 minutes between meetings. Actually be his father. Done. 2. We get him into therapy. A good therapist who specializes in childhood trauma. I'll have the best one in the city here tomorrow. 3. No more secret keeping. If something's wrong, we talk about it. Both of us. No more suffering in silence. Alessio was quiet for a moment, then he nodded. Agreed. Any other demands? Yeah. Stop blaming yourself. What happened was Catherine's fault, not yours, not Leo's. You can't fix the past, but you can do better now. So do better. He smiled. Actually smiled. It transformed his face. You're bossy. You have no idea. Over the next 2 months, things changed. Leo started therapy. It was hard at first. He didn't want to talk to the therapist, a kind woman named Dr. Sarah Chen. But Mila sat with him through the first few sessions, and gradually he opened up. The nightmares didn't stop immediately, but they got less frequent, less intense. And now when he woke up screaming, either Mila or Alessio was there within seconds to comfort him. Alessio kept his promise. He cut back on meetings. He had dinner with Leo every night. He learned to play video games badly, which Leo found hilarious. He read bedtime stories in his deep, accented voice until Leo fell asleep. The change in their relationship was remarkable. Leo started smiling more, laughing. He'd run to his father when Alessio came home and throw his arms around him without flinching. The bruises on his head healed. His hair grew out healthy and thick. He let Mila brush it now without panicking, though he still preferred she be gentle. The whole house felt different, lighter, like something dark had been purged. Mila settled into her new role. She had her own suite now next to Leo's room. She ate meals with the family. She even started learning Italian from Marco, who turned out to have a dry sense of humor she really appreciated. And then there was Alessio. Something had shifted between them that night when he'd asked her to stay. A line had been crossed. Not physically, not yet. But the tension was there, simmering under every conversation. She'd catch him watching her with Leo, the way she'd laugh at his jokes, the way she'd braid his hair, the way she'd make funny voices when reading stories. And she'd catch herself watching Alessio, the way his whole face softened when he looked at his son, the way he'd roll up his sleeves when he worked, revealing strong forearms, the way his voice dropped when he was tired. It was dangerous territory, she knew that. He was her employer, a mafia boss, a man with enemies and blood on his hands. But he was also a father trying desperately to make up for lost time, a man who'd trusted her with the most important thing in his life, a man who made her pulse race when he walked into a room. The breaking point came on a random Tuesday night. Leo was asleep. Mila had stayed late in the library reading. She'd lost track of time. When she finally headed back to her room, she found Alessio in the hallway outside Leo's door, just standing there watching his son sleep through the open doorway. "Can't sleep?" she asked softly. He turned, surprised. "I could ask you the same thing." "Lost in a book. You?" "Just checking on him. I still do that, every night. Make sure he's breathing, that he's not having nightmares, that he's really okay." "He is okay. You made sure of that." "We made sure of that." They stood there in the dimly lit hallway, close enough that she could smell his cologne, something expensive and woodsy. "Mila," he said quietly, "can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Why did you stay, really? It's not just about Leo, is it?" Her heart hammered. "What do you mean? You could work anywhere, with anyone. You're brilliant with children, you're smart. You're brave enough to go toe-to-toe with me. You could have your pick of positions. So why stay here? In a house run by a criminal? With a man who makes his living through violence?" She should lie. Should give him some professional answer about fulfilling her commitment or caring about Leo's well-being. But she was tired of lying to herself. "Because," she said, meeting his eyes, "somewhere between the sheet incident and now, this stopped feeling like a job. Leo stopped being just another kid I was caring for. And you stopped being just another employer." The air between them went electric. "That's dangerous," Alessio said, but he moved closer. "Caring about me, being close to me. People I care about get hurt. I'm not scared. You should be. Well, I'm not. So what are you going to do about it?" He reached up and tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. His fingers lingered on her cheek. "I should walk away. I should keep things professional. I should protect you from this life. But I'm not that strong, not anymore. Not when it comes to you." He kissed her. It was gentle at first, careful, like he was giving her a chance to pull away. When she didn't, when she leaned into him instead, he deepened the kiss. His hand slid into her hair. Her fingers gripped his shirt. It was perfect and terrifying and everything she'd been trying not to want for months. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, he rested his forehead against hers. "This is complicated," he said. "Everything about you is complicated. I can't promise you safety. I can't promise you normal. I can't even promise that someday an enemy won't use you against me. I know. And you still want this. I still want this. He kissed her again, harder this time. Desperate. Like he'd been holding back for too long and finally couldn't anymore. When they heard Leo stir in his room, they broke apart reluctantly. We should talk about this, Alessio said. Set boundaries. Figure out what this means. Tomorrow, Mila agreed. Tonight, let's just check on Leo. They went into Leo's room together. He was shifting in his sleep, making small, distressed sounds. The start of a nightmare. Mila sat on one side of the bed, Alessio on the other. She gently touched Leo's shoulder. Hey, buddy, you're okay. We're here. Leo's eyes opened, unfocused and scared. Then he saw them, both of them, his father and Mila, one on each side, keeping watch. Papa, he said sleepily. Mila? We're here, Alessio said softly. You're safe. Leo smiled, still half asleep. Both of you. Both of us, Mila confirmed. Good. I like when you're both here. It feels like a real family. He drifted back to sleep before either of them could respond. Alessio looked at Mila over Leo's sleeping form. There were tears in his eyes. A real family, he repeated quietly. Is that what we are? I'd like to be, if you'll have us, both of us. Mess and complications and danger and all. Mila reached across and took his hand. I'll have you, both of you. Mess and complications and all. They stayed there for a while, sitting on opposite sides of Leo's bed, holding hands over their sleeping boy, the Mafia boss, the former maid, and the child they'd both fought so hard to protect. It wasn't a traditional family, it wasn't even a safe family, not really, but it was theirs, and that was enough. 6 months later, everything had settled into a new rhythm. Leo was thriving. He'd started at a new school, one with small classes and teachers trained in trauma-informed care. He had friends now. Real friends who came over for playdates that Marco thoroughly vetted. He still had bad days. Days when the memories were too much and he'd need to stay home, stay close to Mila or Alessio. But those days were getting fewer and farther between. His relationship with his father had transformed completely. They were inseparable now. Leo wanted to know everything about Alessio's work, the parts that were appropriate for a 7-year-old anyway. He wanted to be just like his papa when he grew up. Alessio was teaching him Italian, chess, and how to read people. Important skills, he said. Mila tried not to think too hard about why those particular skills were important. As for Mila and Alessio, they'd found their own rhythm too. She'd officially moved into a different wing of the house. Not quite moved in with him, but close. They kept things relatively quiet around Leo and the staff, though everyone knew. It was impossible not to notice the way Alessio looked at her, the way his hand would find hers under the dinner table, the way he'd pull her into empty rooms just to steal a kiss. Marco found the whole thing hilarious. I give it 6 months before he proposes, he told her one afternoon. It's already been 6 months, Mila pointed out. Then I guess he's overdue. Mila didn't expect a proposal, didn't need one. What they had was enough. But she'd be lying if she said the idea didn't make her heart race. The real test came when Alessio had to go out of town for business. The dangerous kind of business. The kind that required Marco and half the security team and an arsenal of weapons. He'd been avoiding these trips, sending others in his place. But this one was unavoidable. A meeting with another family, negotiations that could only happen face to face. I don't want to go, he said the night before he was supposed to leave. They were in his room, in his bed, her head on his chest. I don't want to leave you and Leo. We'll be fine. Marco will be here. The house is secure. I know, but I finally have everything I never thought I'd have. A son who isn't afraid of me. A woman I love beyond reason. I don't want to risk it. Mila lifted her head, looking at him in surprise. You love me, he smiled. Is that surprising? You've never said it before? I've shown it every day for 6 months. But if you need the words, then yes, I love you. Completely. Desperately. In a way that terrifies me because I've never felt this way about anyone. I love you too, she said, and watched his face transform with joy. Even though you're bossy and overprotective, and sometimes you're late to dinner because you're doing illegal things I don't want to know about, he laughed. That's quite a list of flaws. I have my own. I'm stubborn and I don't always know when to back down, and I still can't walk on those stupid marble stairs without almost dying. Your flaws are perfect. They kissed, and the conversation about his trip got temporarily forgotten in favor of other, more pressing activities. But the next morning, reality returned. Alessio had to leave. Leo cried when he said goodbye, which made Alessio nearly cancel the whole thing. It took both Mila and Marco to convince him to go. 3 days, Alessio said, kissing Leo's forehead. I'll be back in 3 days, I promise. What if you don't come back? Leo asked in a small voice. I will always come back to you, both of you. Nothing could keep me away. He looked at Mila over Leo's head. The weight of those words, the promise in them, was clear. The first 2 days were fine. Long but fine. Alessio called 3 times a day to check in. Leo seemed okay, just missing his father. The third day, everything went wrong. It started with Marco getting a phone call that made him go very, very still. Then he started barking orders. The house went into lockdown. Extra security appeared from nowhere. Everyone was tense, faces grim. What's happening? Mila demanded, pulling Marco aside. There was an attack. During the meeting, the other family betrayed us. Her blood went cold. Alessio? He's alive, but he's hurt. They're bringing him home now. Leo overheard. He went white. Papa's hurt? He's okay, Mila said quickly, pulling him close. He's coming home. But when Alessio finally arrived 2 hours later, he didn't look okay. He could barely walk. 2 men were helping him, and there was blood on his shirt, his jacket, his hands. Leo screamed and tried to run to him, but Mila held him back. Let the doctors see him first, baby. Let them help him. They brought Alessio to his room. A doctor appeared. One who was apparently on permanent retainer for situations like this. Mila and Leo waited in the hallway, both terrified. Finally, after what felt like hours, the doctor emerged. He'll be fine. Gunshot wound to the shoulder, some cuts and bruises. He needs rest and antibiotics. No heavy lifting for a few weeks. Can we see him? Mila asked. He's asking for you, both of you. They went in slowly. Alessio was propped up in bed, his shoulder bandaged, his face pale but determined. When he saw them, he smiled. See? I told you I'd come back. Leo burst into tears and ran to the bed, climbing up carefully. Alessio wrapped his good arm around him. I'm okay, son. I'm okay. You're hurt, there's blood. Not mine, mostly, I'm fine. It takes more than a few bullets to keep me down. Mila moved to the other side of the bed, taking Alessio's hand. A few bullets? Just one. The others missed. Just one. He says it like that's nothing. For me, it is nothing. But his grip on her hand was tight, desperate, like he needed to feel that she was real, that she was there. That night, after Leo had finally fallen asleep curled up on Alessio's uninjured side, Mila and Alessio talked quietly. This is my life, he said. This danger, this violence, it's always going to be there. I can minimize it, be careful, but I can't eliminate it completely. Not and maintain the empire that provides for my family. I know. I won't blame you if this is too much. If you want to leave, take a safer job somewhere else. Mila looked at Leo sleeping peacefully, his small hand clutching his father's shirt. Then at Alessio, this complicated, dangerous, deeply loving man who'd somehow become everything to her. I'm not going anywhere, she said firmly. This is my family now. The complicated, dangerous, sometimes bleeding family. And I'm staying. Alessio's eyes were wet. I don't deserve you. Probably not, but you're stuck with me anyway. He pulled her close and kissed her, careful of his injured shoulder. When they broke apart, he reached into the nightstand with his good hand and pulled out a small box. I was going to wait. Make it romantic. Take you somewhere beautiful and do this properly. He opened the box, revealing a ring. Simple, elegant, with a single diamond. But I almost died today, and I realized I don't want to wait. I don't want to waste any time. Mila Reyes, will you marry me? Will you officially become part of this mess of a family? She was crying now. Yes. Absolutely yes. He slipped the ring on her finger, then pulled her in for another kiss. Leo stirred between them, opening sleepy eyes. He saw the ring, saw them kissing. His face split into a huge grin. Does this mean Mila's going to be my mom? Alessio and Mila looked at each other, then at Leo. "If you want me to be," Mila said softly. "I want. I really, really want." They all huddled together on that massive bed. The Mafia boss recovering from a gunshot, the former maid with a diamond on her finger, and the boy they'd both fought so hard to save. It had started with bruises and fear and a mystery that needed solving. It had become something neither Alessio nor Mila had expected. A real family. Messy and complicated and sometimes dangerous, but real. And for all of them, it was exactly what they needed. Leo fell back asleep with a smile on his face. Mila rested her head on Alessio's good shoulder, and Alessio held them both, his empire, his family, his whole world, in his arms. Whatever dangers tomorrow brought, they'd face them together, and that was enough. Thanks for watching this story of pain, protection, and unexpected love. Now I have a question for you. Would you have stayed in that mansion after discovering the truth, or would fear have driven you away? Drop your answer and your location in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat.